All right, so you ready to record?
Yeah, we're recording.
Oh, okay. All right. So, prepared for Dr. Lily Stan, we are appraising a single-family detached home in Greenville, South Carolina. The address is 306 Penley Place in Greenville, South Carolina. Is it on April 6th? Uh, we are preparing it by Upstate Appraisal LLC from Serene Hall, Clemson, South Carolina. My name is John Hirschman.
I'm Joseph Finkelstein.
I'm Bennett Jones.
I'm James C.
And I'm Patrick Trainer.
So we are appraising this property in Greenville, South Carolina. It is an up-and-coming market. It's brand new. So we are appraising this brand new home that was built in 2018 with a list price of $269,999.
So using our research, the sales approach, cost approach, and the two income approaches, we were able to come up with the appraised value of $277,180.74. The actual selling price of this property may vary from our appraisal due to our appraisal being based off current market conditions. And so more about this home, it's located in Greenville. Its lot size is 0.229 acres. The square footage of this house is 2,400 square feet. It has 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. It was built in 2018. It has an attached 2-car garage with quartz countertops, and in the kitchen with stainless steel appliances. The zone is R15, which is the residential zone of Greenville, and it is 10.7 miles from downtown Greenville.
So a little bit about Greenville. It's a fairly young town or young city with a mean age of 34.6. And it's been growing pretty steadily over the last couple of years with a 2% increase in population from 2017. And its median household income has grown 8% over that same time. And that's led to an increase in house values. Zillow said that they have increased in price 4.2% over the last year and are expected to increase 4.4% over the next year. And the median price of homes is $227,000. So many of the comparable properties we chose are located south of Greenville. We do have one property located north, but we tried to keep as many of them close to the same area as possible to get rid of factors when it comes to a location. And so we chose for the sales comparison, we chose to choose bedrooms, bathrooms, time from sale, and set the house sizes as the variables to separate. And for the most part, many of them were pretty similar because we tried to choose similar size houses, but there were a lot of differences just due to lot size and house size adjustments. And so our average sale price after adjustment was $247,000.
And moving on to the cost approach. So we began by using the website Cost to Build to determine the estimated replication cost of this house. This calculator allowed us to estimate the cost of materials, foundation, square footage, etc. After performing this analysis, we determined that our total replication cost for our subject property in today's given market would be $318,660. So after doing this replication analysis, we determined the home is currently listed at $269,000. So therefore, it would make it more cost effective to purchase the home at a listed price rather than producing an equivalent building. And then in our report, there's a full breakdown of all the materials and replication costs that would go into this project.
So then we also use the income approach using direct capitalization. So basically for this approach, we used like the income that the property would be able to accumulate and added it all up and subtracted the collection costs and maintenance costs and then divided this number by the capitalization rate. and we came up with a price estimate of $280,122. So then we also used the discounted cash flows method, just basically like if we were to sell this property in 10 years from now, what the valuation would be in the coming years. So we actually used like the present value and cash flows that were coming in to evaluate and came up with a pretty similar valuation of $247,498.
And for our reconciliation of our estimates, value estimates, we weighted the sales approach at 55%, the cost approach at 40%, and the income approach at 5%. The reason our cost approach is at 40% is because of our property is brand new. Nobody's lived in it. They just purchased the land and bought and built on it. So the cost approach is a little bit better of an estimate than the income approach. Whereas the sales approach is probably a really good estimate also, because we are comparing what has sold locally that is very comparable to our property that we have listed. So with our total weights and calculations, we came out to a price of $2,777, $180.74.
All right, and I'll talk about how coronavirus has affected the world economy and the real estate market. So the current state of the world economy, there are similarities and differences between where it's at now and where it was at during the last recession. The biggest industries that seem to be hit the hardest are the airline and oil industries. OPEC has started a price war, and countries have started buying up oil to make sure their reserves are okay. And travel has been limited to only essential travel. So the airlines have been hurting since then. And according to the graph here on the bottom left, you can see that world GDP across the world and in some of the biggest countries is declining compared to where it was at last year, with China being hit the hardest since that's where the infection started. And next to that, you can see just where most of the major stock indexes are at in the last month. They've all fallen between about 15 and 35% since the major spread of coronavirus. So the big difference that between the current problems that the world economy is facing now and the last recession is the actual cause of the problem. The last recession was caused by deep-rooted problems within the economy, subpar mortgage loans, which caused the housing market to collapse and eventually spiraled out of control. This current problem that we're facing is an external problem that's outside of the world economy. So if that problem can get fixed in a timely manner, the economy should be able to bounce back much faster than it did before. And at this point, recession is not even a foregone conclusion. And down below that, I just have a chart here. This is the total amount of new unemployment claims since the coronavirus outbreak. There's 3.3 million new claims. You can see there were 37 million new claims during the 2008 recession. So really a very big difference in terms of the amount of people that are currently unemployed. And then this right here, we'll talk a little bit about the effect on real estate. Real estate's all about buying power. So as people's buying power continues to decrease, it's going to adversely affect the real estate market. People aren't buying houses when their jobs aren't secure. So at the current situation right now, everybody is holding off on buying the property until we kind of know, we get a better idea of what the future is going to look like for the next couple months at least. And in Greenville specifically, there were about 14,000 new unemployment claims in the last 2 weeks. So, I mean, that's a good majority of the Greenville population. So, and then I have this chart down here. This is unrelated to real estate, but I thought it was still interesting to include. It's the St. Louis Federal Financial Stress Index calculated by the St. Louis Federal Reserve Bank. And it's just a level of the amount of stress being placed on the world economy. So as you can see, it's rising right now, but still not at the level it was around 2008. So we'll have a better idea later in the week when they publish an updated version of this about where we're really at. But I thought this was important to include.